You lied this morning. Don't look away. Don't skip ahead. You lied this morning. You told yourself you'd get up. You told yourself 2026 was going to be different. You made that promise on January 1st, probably while you were still half drunk, and you felt it, didn't you? That surge, that this is my year energy. You believed it for about 4 days, maybe 5 if you were really motivated. And then you went back to sleep. You went back to the same excuses, the same scrolling, the same half efforts, the same almost but not quite version of yourself that's been showing up for years. And the worst part, the part that should keep you up at night, is that you've gotten comfortable lying to yourself. So comfortable that you don't even notice it anymore. The lies come easy now. I'll start Monday. I've been stressed. I deserve a break. Nobody gets it easy. That's the internal governor talking. That's the voice inside your skull that exists for one reason: to keep you mediocre, keep you comfortable, and keep you from ever finding out what you're actually capable of. Today, we're going to find out if you have the guts to shut that voice up. I need you to do something right now that most people will never do in their entire lives. I need you to stand in front of who you actually are, not who you tell people you are on social media, not the version you describe when someone asks, "What are you working on?" but the real you, the one who knows exactly how many hours you wasted last week, the one who knows you had time to train and didn't, the one who knows you had time to read, to build, to grind, and instead chose comfort. That person, that's who you're auditing today. This is the accountability mirror, and it doesn't care about your feelings. Here's what you do. You make a list right now, not in your head, on paper. Every single thing you said you were going to do in 2026 that you haven't done. Every goal, every habit, every commitment you whispered to yourself at midnight that you abandoned before breakfast. Write it all down. Now look at that list. That list is not a failure. That list is data. And most people are terrified of data because data cannot be argued with. You can argue with your feelings, you can negotiate with your emotions, but numbers don't lie, dates don't lie. That training log with 30 empty rows doesn't lie. Most people never do this exercise because it hurts. Good. Let it hurt. That discomfort you're feeling right now, that's the gap between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. The bigger that discomfort, the bigger the gap. The bigger the gap, the bigger the opportunity. If you've got the discipline to do something about it, the average person sees that gap and makes another excuse. The savage sees it and gets angry. Which one are you? Let me tell you what real discipline actually looks like. Because you've been sold a lie about that too. You think discipline looks like a clean morning routine and a green smoothie and a perfectly organized journal with motivational quotes on the cover. You think it's aesthetic. You think it looks good. It doesn't. Discipline looks like getting up when every cell in your body is begging you to stay horizontal. It looks like 4:47 a.m. and it's cold and dark and your body aches from yesterday and there is absolutely zero part of you that wants to move. And you move anyway, not because you feel like it, not because you're inspired, but because you made a commitment to a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. And the only way to build that person is to show up when it sucks. And here's what nobody tells you. It's going to suck for a long time. That first month of waking up early, it sucks. The first 3 months of eating right when everyone around you is eating garbage, it sucks. The first year of building something when you have no audience, no validation, no evidence that any of it is working, it sucks. The people who quit, and most people quit, they quit during the suck phase because they believed the lie that eventually it would stop sucking. They were waiting for the day they'd feel motivated all the time. They were waiting to feel like a savage before they started acting like one. That day doesn't come. Not the way you think. What does come? If you stay in the suck long enough, it's something different, something quieter. You stop needing it to feel good. You stop needing the emotion of motivation to take action. You do the work the same way you brush your teeth, not because you love it, not because it inspires you, but because it's non-negotiable. Because you've calloused your mind to the point where discomfort is no longer a signal to stop. It's just information. That's the shift. That's what separates the people who transform from the people who dabble. But you have to earn it through the suck, through the fatigue, through the early mornings nobody claps for, and the late nights nobody sees, and the progress so slow it's barely measurable. Are you willing to pay that price, or are you still looking for the shortcut? Here's the tool that will keep you from quitting when your mind starts screaming at you to stop. The cookie jar. Every hard thing you've ever done, every time you showed up when you didn't want to, every time you pushed past the wall, every time life tried to break you and you bent but didn't break, that's a cookie. And you need to put every single one of those cookies in a mental jar. Because the moment is coming, and I promise you it's coming, when you're in the middle of something brutal and your mind tells you you can't do this, you go into that jar, you pull out the memory of the time you thought you were done and you weren't. You pull out the time you were sick and trained anyway. You pull out the moments you failed and got back up. You use your own history as ammunition. But here's where most people mess this up. They don't fill the jar because they don't think their hard moments count. They compare their battles to someone else's and decide their struggles weren't hard enough. That's victim thinking. That is the most dangerous lie you can tell yourself, that your suffering doesn't qualify. Your suffering qualifies. Every hard thing you've done counts. Put it in the jar. And now, starting today, you are going to be deliberate about adding new cookies. You are going to manufacture hard. You're going to sign up for the race that scares you. You're going to take the cold shower. You're going to have the uncomfortable conversation. You're going to submit the work before you feel ready. You're going to do the thing your soft voice says to delay, because every time you do something that's hard on purpose, you are callousing your mind. You are training your nervous system to understand that discomfort is not danger. You are building the kind of mental infrastructure that doesn't crumble when life gets ugly. That's not motivation. That's engineering. Let me give you one more weapon. Taking souls. This is not about ego. This is not about putting other people down. This is about finding fuel in competition, real or imagined, and using it to unlock levels of effort you didn't think were possible. When someone doubts you, and people will doubt you, you don't argue. You don't post about it. You don't need their validation reversed publicly. You go to work silently, completely, and you perform at a level so far beyond what they expected that they have to live with that. That's taking souls. When you're in a race and someone passes you, you don't quit. You lock in. You find something in the very bottom of your tank that you didn't know was there. You make that person work for every inch. Whether you pass them back doesn't matter. What matters is what you discover about yourself in that moment. When life is trying to beat you, the setback, the diagnosis, the rejection, the loss, you look it in the face and you refuse to be defined by it. You take that pain and you convert it. You use it. You don't waste suffering. Suffering that doesn't teach you something, suffering that doesn't fuel something is just wasted pain. Don't waste it. Every person who wrote you off, fuel. Every time you were overlooked, fuel. Every failure that made you feel like a fraud, fuel. Every version of yourself that gave up too early, fuel. Stop letting pain be something that happens to you. Start making it something that works for you. That's the mindset of an unbreakable person, not someone who doesn't feel it, someone who feels everything and chooses their response anyway. You feel the fear. You go anyway. You feel the pain. You stay anyway. You feel the doubt. You build anyway. That is the standard. That is the only standard. So here's where we land. It's 2026. We're already moving through this year. The question isn't whether time is passing. It is. The question is what you're doing with the time that's passing. Right now, I need you to do three things. Not tomorrow, not after this video. Right now. 1, find something today that's uncomfortable and do it. Not something catastrophic, something real. Skip the meal you don't need. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Start the first page of the project you've been procrastinating for 3 months. Do it before you sleep tonight. Just one thing. That's your first cookie. 2, write down one lie you've been telling yourself. Just one. The most expensive one. The one that if you stop telling it would change the trajectory of everything. Write it down, look at it, and then write down what the truth actually is. The unfiltered, uncomfortable truth. That truth is your new operating system. 3, decide right now that you are no longer a victim of your circumstances, not because your circumstances aren't real. They might be brutal, but victimhood is a choice. The choice to let what happened to you define what's possible for you. And that choice, I promise you, costs more than you can afford. You are not here by accident. You clicked on this video because something inside you knows you've been operating below your capability. That part of you is right. That part of you is the one you need to start listening to. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you first. Get to work. The world doesn't reward potential. It never has. It rewards execution. Brutal, consistent, ugly, unglamorous, unwitnessed execution done day after day after day, whether anyone is watching or not. Go be that person, not next week. Now, if this hit you where it was supposed to hit you, don't like the video. Don't subscribe. Go do something hard first. Come back when you've done it. That's the only subscribe worth having. Unbreakable mindset. Stay hard.